Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya
Jaya Radha Madhava
Radha
Jaya Kunja Vihari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri Garodari
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari
Jaya Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Jaya Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tiravanatari
Yamunatiravanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Vihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Giri
Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari
Jaya Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana
Sadanandana Braja Jana Ranjana
Yamuna Tiravanachari
Yamunatiravanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Vihari
Samadava Jaya Kunjari
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Rama
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranta, Gauranta,
Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram,
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram.
Jaya Radha, Sundara Radha,
Jaya Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Shama Sundar Radha.
Jaya Radha, Madan Mohan Radha, Madan Mohan Radha.
Jaya Radha, Madan Mohan Radha, Madan Mohan Radha.
Jaya Radha, Govinda Radha,
Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radha.
Jaya Radha, Gopinath Radha, Gopinath Radha.
Jaya Radha Gopinatha Radha Gopinatha Radha.
Jaya Jagannath, Jagannath,
Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Baladeva Jaya Subhadrama.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Jaya Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
हरे नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय ग्रंथा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय जय गुरु ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namaha Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namaha Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमः भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namaha Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
Narayanam Namaskrityam
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
ततो जयमुदीरये
Tato Jayamudiraye
अष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
भगवती उत्तम श्लोके
Bhagavate Uttama Sloke
भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
रीडिंग फ्रॉम श्रीमद् भागवतम 7th canto chapter 3 text number 1. Can you lift bro? I will read the English one. Shri Narada Uvacha
Shri Narada Uvacha
Hiranyakasipu Rajan
Hiranyakasipu Rajan
Ajayam Ajaramaram
Ajayam Ajaramaram
Atmanam Apratidvandvam
Atmanam Apratidvandvam
Ekarajam Vyadhisata
Ekarajam Vaditstata.
Shri Narada Uvacha
Shri Narada Uvacha
Hiranyakasipu Rajan
Hiranyakasipu Rajan
Ajayam Ajaramaram
Ajayam Ajaramaram
Atmanam Apratidvandvam
Atmanam Apratidvandam
Ekarajam Vyadhisata.
Ekarajam Vyaditstata.
You recite bro.
श्रीनारद उवाच
श्रीनारद उवाच
हिरण्यकशिपु राजन्
हिरण्यकशिपु राजन्
अजेयम् अजामरम्
अजयम् अजरामरम्
आत्मानम् अप्रतिद्वन्द्वम्
आत्मानम् अप्रतिद्वन्द्वम्
एकराजं व्यतिष्ठत
एकराजं व्यदित्सत। Sri Narada Uvacha. Sri Narada Muni said, Hiranyakashipu, the demoniac king Hiranyakashipu, Rajan, O King Yudhishthira, Ajayam, unconquerable by any enemy, Ajara, without old age or disease, Amaram, immortal, Atmanam, himself, Apratidwandam, without any rival or opponent, Ekarajam, the one king of the universe. Yadhitsata, desired to become. Translation and purport by His Divineness, Bhaktivedanta Swami Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Narada Muni said to Maharaj Yudhishthira, the demoniac king Hiranyakashipu wanted to be unconquerable and free from old age and dwindling of the body. He wanted to gain all the yogic perfections like Ganima and Laghima, to be deathless and to be the king, only king of the entire universe, including Brahmaloka. Purport. Such are the goals of the austerities performed by demons. Hiranyakashipu wanted to receive a benediction from Lord Brahma so that in future he would be able to conquer Lord Brahma's abode. Similarly, another demon received a benediction from Lord Shiva, but later wanted to kill Lord Shiva through that same benediction. Thus, self-interested persons by demoniac austerity want to kill even their benedictors, whereas the Vaishnava wants to remain an ever-existing servant of the Lord and never to occupy the post of the Lord. Through Sajuja Mukti, which is generally demanded by Asuras, one merges into the existence of the Lord. But although one sometimes thus achieves the goal of the theory of monism, one falls down again to struggle in material existence. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmritam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sambrupapadamaiham Tadati Soropadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahana Raghunatanitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Sabhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahavanavadita Sri Vishakha Sa Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Surupa Damodar Swami Iti Namine Namo Sadbhakta Mani Manipurudbhavaya Cha Prabhupada Sadvani Prachara Niratayate Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshodarini Nama Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gauratu Se Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinavandhu Jagatpati Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanushte Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanang Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Mukhaṁ Kurti Vācāraṁ Pangulam Bhayate Yat Kripatam Ham Vande Sri Guru Dīnatarinam Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Adaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. So, today's verse, this is the first verse of this chapter, chapter 3, 7th canto. Very, very significant. So, then, so this is the continuation from before what Narada Muni is describing to Maharaj Yudhishthira, that how the Lord is impartial. So, to explain that point, he is narrating whole whole of these episodes. So, Narada Muni said to Maharaj Yudhishthira, the demoniac king Hiranyakashipu wanted to be unconquerable and free from old age and dwindling of body. So everybody, actually all of us are also doing devotional service so that one day will become free from birth, death, old age and disease. And Hiranyakashipu was also wanting that same thing, but there is a difference. What is the difference? He wanted to gain all the yogic perfections like Ganima, Lagima, to be deathless and to be the only king of the entire universe, including Brahma. So, that is the demoniac mentality, that one day I will conquer everybody and I'll be worshipped by everybody. So that tendency is there in every living entity. Every living entity is suffering from this disease called envy. So, and that is the root cause for which we are here in this material world. As soon as we desire to enjoy separately from the Lord, or as soon as we desire to take the position of the Lord, and Srila Prabhupada very nicely puts, to load it over the material nature, to load it over the material natures. As soon as we try to control everybody around us, so we are, that means in some form or other, we are developing envy. We want to take somebody else's position, which we are not constitutionally situated. So our constitutional position is, we are eternal servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jiver Swarup Hai Krishna Nityadas. So if anything else we are desiring, anything else than the eternal servant of the Lord, if we are desiring, then that is some manifestation of some form of envy. So the living entity, all the living entities are suffering from this disease. And Hiranyakashipu is not an exception. So here Prabhupada mentions in the purport very nicely, the first statement you see, he's saying that such are the goals of the austerities performed by demons. So whatever austerity they perform to take somebody else's position. Like here, Hiranyakashipu, his intention is that one day he will become the sole king. Even he can take the position of Lord Brahma, like he can also conquer this Brahma Loka. So Prabhupada mentions in the Translation, he wanted to gain all this yogic perfection like Anima, Garima, Lagima, all this, to be deathless and to be the only king of the entire universe, including Brahma Loka. So you see, you worship somebody, so he was actually performing austerity to please Brahmaji himself. And intention is that he will become more powerful than Brahma, he'll take his position. And Prabhupada gives the example of Brukasur, who later who was known as Bhasmasur. Like, so he performed such a severe austerity to please Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, of course, he is Ashutosh. So in the beginning he was not appearing. Then he wanted to cut the flesh from his body and put in the oblation, like in the fire, yajna. Like this he was doing offering. This is demonic austerity. They bring torture to their own body and try to please somebody. And still Lord Shiva was not appearing. Then he wanted to cut his throat, his own throat. And suddenly Lord Shiva appeared along with Mother Parvati and said, I am pleased with you, what bone you want. So, because this Brukasara, he might have something in mind, but as soon as he saw Mother Parvati is there with Lord Shiva, so he developed the lusty desire. He developed the lusty desire, and he wanted to eradicate Lord Shiva himself through his boon. So he asked that give me a boon so that to whom I can touch on the head, he will be destroyed. So this kind of, so Vasmasu. This kind of, so Lord Shiva, because he is very Asutosh, so he said Tathastu. So it be. And then we know the story, like how Brukasara would try to test on the head of Lord Shiva himself. Like, and Lord Shiva could understand the mistake he performed. Because, you know, the demigods, or even up to Lord Brahma and Shiva, so they give benediction without seeing the purity in the heart of their followers. The purification was not there. So he was still suffering from the lusty desires. Still he gave the boon. But in case of worshipping Lord Vishnu or Krishna, so that doesn't happen. So perfection will not come as long as we are totally eradicated from all the misgivings in the heart, including lusty desires, envy, etc. So Lord Shiva could understand his mistake, and to save himself he ran, and he was not finding any solution what to do. Then he took shelter of Krishna. Of course, Krishna in disguise as a boy, Brahman. So he saved him. So we know this story. So point is, the heart, so the purpose of austerity is to purify the heart. And if heart is not getting purified, what kind of austerity is? The Prabhupada says this is called as demoniac austerity. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes, it's a demoniac austerity. So in contrast to transcendental austerity, which was proposed by Rishabdev, Topo Divyam Putraka. So he says, Topo Divyam Putraka yena sattvam suddhyet jasmad brahma sakhyam tu anantam. Topo Divyam. So one has to perform the transcendental austerity. Divyas. Topo Divyam. So which will purify our existence, our sattva. Sattva, that means heart. Completely, heart should be completely purified from all these kam, krodha, lobha, moha, masters, and their derivatives, so in different forms, should be completely eradicated. That is the purpose. That should be the purpose of austerity. Not that the envy should increase. So that is demonic austerity, which now Hiranyakasipu is going to perform. So it did that kind of austerity. And this Brukasura example also like that. So their heart is not getting purified. Instead, their lusty desires are increasing. So that's why this kind of austerities are not prescribed. So one should not be whimsical in performing austerity. Sometimes devotees, they take austerities actually without getting sanction from higher authority. So that may lead to some kind of, it will not purify the heart. So that's why whatever austerity may it be, it has to be sanctioned by some higher authority. Then we should perform. So if it is not sanctioned, then unnecessarily it will increase our pride. If it is not sanctioned by higher authority, it will increase our pride. We will become so, we are so austere. I don't take even water in Ekadasi. So like there in Vaishnava community also. So sometimes when we perform severe austerity, naturally pride comes that I am so austere. I can do this. So that means if by the purpose of austerity is to get purification in the heart, we should become Trunanda Vishwanichana Turul Vishwan. That is the target. But by performing austerity, if our pride is increasing, like sometimes we memorize the verses, or suppose somebody has memorized whole Bhagavad Gita, and then he thinks, I will memorize all this. So it is unnecessarily increasing pride. Okay, if he has done under guidance, if Guru says, okay, you memorize, then as a service to Guru in Krishna, or some higher authority says, okay, you for the preaching point of view, you have to. So then that pride is not there. Otherwise, whatever austerity we may take whimsically out of our own mental concoction, that may lead to pride or envy or this kind of anarthas will never be come out of these anarthas. So devotional service, that's why it is very what is called, it is like Huras Dharas, like walking on the edge of a razor. So what is the razor here? That means whatever decision we are taking without higher sanction of higher authority, so that is the danger, and that will cut us, that will make us fall down also. So always that's why we should have mentors in all phases of life. We should have the spiritual master always, either Sikhya Guru, Dikhya Guru. So we should always consult, even if we become senior, so in age or even in relation also. So we have to take consultation from time to time. So then this pride may not appear in our heart, which may destroy us in due course of time. So, because see, in Kali Yuga, this kind of demoniac mental, so oh yeah, I am not exception. So I am also having demoniac qualities. If we go through the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we can find how much qualities of this demoniacness is within us. So it is there. All of us are suffering from this kind of diseases. But our objective is to please Guru and Krishna, and thereby you get purification. Okay, so now we'll be surrounded by people like that. And all of us are taking some positions like leaders, some leadership positions, because we have to take some leadership. Everybody is a leader in its own place. A mother is a leader for the children, father is a leader in the family. Like that, everybody has has to take a leading role in his own life. So leaders have to be very, very careful, because if you are taking leadership position, like the guru is a leader, spiritual master is a leader, so he has to. So he has to take special attention here to the subordinates, towards the subordinates, because so subordinates always there. All of us are affected by this unearthly. So they may be rebellion. They may be rebellion, and they want to. So if they become rebellion, so that will destroy their bhakti, and also our. So we will also be agitated. So our devotion also will be disturbed. So at this leadership position, somebody is naturally. So we are not. In some point of time, we have to become leader, or we are already the leaders. So what are the qualities one leader should have? So he has to actually give proper love, care, affection, protection to the subordinates. So this is required, very much required, very, very much required, because unless the subordinates are properly loved and feel care and feel affection and protection under his leadership, so they will not feel secure in their heart. So we have to make the followers or subordinates feel secure in their heart. Then that envy will not come out. So till the envy is not totally eradicated, we have to suppress that envy. Suppress this, that means that envy can be minimized in the form of loving care, affection, protection. But because he is in the sadhana bhakti, so in due course of time that envy will go. Then that point of time, so till that point of time, so we have to be very, very, very careful. So leadership position is actually very, very crucial, because in Bhagavatam it says that one should not take the leadership position unless one is able to deliver them from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So as if one is not entitled to be a father, pita no sasyat, mata no sasyat, guru no sasyat, like that. So this leadership position is very, 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 very crucial, because we have to see that the subordinates are getting free from all anarthas. So for that, we have to ourselves become free from all anarthas, and so extra care. So we have to pray for them, pray for their progress, provide love, care, affection, protection. Okay, and we have to sacrifice. So that is the most important thing. We have to sacrifice our time and energy for them. It is not that everything is going okay, I'm all right. So we have to sacrifice some time. Time is very precious actually. Giving time itself is a quality of a good leader. Like sometimes we don't give time to our family members, subordinates. So to give time and sacrifice certain things for their pleasure. And another quality is that the leaders must be impartial to all. So there are many subordinates, but then he has to be impartial as far as possible, because that is the quality. Otherwise, we are not entitled to be the leaders. We should be impartial. Like the example in Mahabharata, very, very important example, or famous example, like Maharani Kunti, and we all know the story. Kunti and Madri were there, two queens of Maharaj Pandu. And Maharaj Pandu, he was cursed. He was cursed that whenever he will unite with his wife, so he'll die. So that kind of strong, very difficult curse was given by some Muni. So it so happened that he could not resist and embraced, I think, Madri. So he died. Then the children were very small, all the Pandavas. Madri has two twins, Nakul and Sahadeva, and Kunti has three sons, Yudhishthira, Bhima and Arjun. So the children are small. So when the children are very small, so the wife cannot become sati. So one of them have to stay to take care of them, because otherwise father has gone, so mother gone means that is, so what will happen to children? So in that case, like in the same example, like when Dronacharya died, so Krupi did not become sati because Aswathama was young. So whenever the children are there, so they are not entitled to become sati. So, but one of them has to go. Then, so there was a competition. That is a, like Kunti said, I'll go. Madri said, I'll go. So they could not decide. It's not that you go and I'll stay. It's not like that. The quarrel is that I'll go. Kunti says, I'll go. I'll become sati. Then Madri said, I'll become sati. So they could not decide whom. Then they asked the Brahmanas there, the rishis. So the rishis listened them, both of them. Kunti said, because I am the elder queen, so it is my duty to become sati. And Madri said, because I am responsible for the death, so I should go. I should become sati. So both points were valid actually. Then Madri put another point, so which is very, very important actually. She said that I am not impartial. If I remain, I'll discriminate between my sons and your sons. But you are impartial. But you are Kunti, you are impartial, and you love Nakul, Sahadeva as much as you love Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjun. So that point, so that's why you should remain, and I should become sati. So then Brahmanas also told, yes, this is the point. And Kunti understood. Kunti said, okay, that's okay, let it be. But Kunti understood in this way that Kunti's desire is like this. Like it is not that she will remain and she will become happy. It is not like that. Kunti thought that if Madri is not becoming sati, then every day she will be suffering from that agony, that mistake she has done to Maharaj Pandu, and that will be very difficult for her to live, because even if she will be living physically, she will be not living actually happily. So always that guilt feeling will be coming to her. So she allowed. So that is the point. So the leaders actually should be impartial. So then this tendency of the rebellion will not come in the subordinates. Okay, and the subordinates should be engaged in devotional service, so that whatever envy may be in the dormant state, that will also go. And another important point is that the subordinate should be engaged properly, duly, appropriately. Otherwise, then again you say, okay, the leader is not taking care of me, or I am not feel loved by him or her. So then again rebellion will come out. So that is the greatest actually enemy or danger in the living entity. So again, fueling the enemy. So fueling the enemy should not take place. So leader should, that's why that should be engaged properly, appropriately should be engaged. So that the envy will not come. Because the envy is there, so Hiranyakashipu wants to, so he wants to take the boon from Brahmaji and he wants to take his kingdom. So that is the idea. It will conquer, unconquerable. So there are many things to be discussed, but I just focused on this thing, that how our anarthas are leading us to this hell. Even if we are performing devotional service, if we are not completely becoming free, sattva sudhim, then we are in the same. So we may be gram of devotees, but we will be same at least again. So we have to be very, very careful, and the austerity we should perform. So this austerity should be sanctioned by somebody. Then only it is austerity. Otherwise, that austerity will become a demoniac austerity, what Prabhupada said. So austerity has to be sanctioned. Like somebody is going for book distribution, okay, but it should be sanctioned by somebody, sorry, higher authority. Otherwise, you will say that I become a great book distributor. So then pride again will come. So many things actually, you have to be very, very careful. In every sphere of life, there is chance of increasing our anarthas. So we should be careful, and if we act always under guidance, then that is the only way. Otherwise, it's a hopeless situation for all of us. So thank you very much for your kind attention. And if you want to add anything, so you may add. And if there is any question also, we can discuss.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If anyone is having any question regarding today's class, they can raise the hand and ask His Grace Harpa Prabhu. Yes, Srikant Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandu Pranam.
Dhanavad, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for that calm, composed, and beautiful class. My question is, what are those qualities in a person which Krishna sees or which impress Krishna? Can it be purity, or like your Grace said that Krishna looks purity in the spirit? So, but if the sattvic qualities are the one that impress Krishna, then it actually means that bhakti depends on sattvic qualities. So how do we resolve this? Hare Krishna. My question is clear, Prabhuji, to you?
Yes, maybe let me answer. Then, if it is not, then I can tell. The quality which Krishna very much looks for is, in part of a sadhaka, is obedience. That is the greatest quality. So if obedience is there, rest will follow. Remaining all these things will follow. If anything else is not there. So if obedience is there, if somebody is very not learned, okay, but very obedient, and Krishna sees that he is obeying his spiritual master, whatever orders he is giving, he is obeying. So because it is not all our sadhana which matters, by sadhana, sadhana is just a means to attract the mercy of the Lord, Guru and Krishna. So if we are not obedient, then how can we attract the mercy of Guru and Krishna? So that is our only hope. So remaining qualities will manifest, because by the mercy, everything is possible. So that is the best, I think, in my opinion, what I heard, not my opinion, what I heard, is the obedience is the foremost quality which Krishna looks for. Did I answer your question, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu, very much. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone else would like to ask any question? If so, please. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dhanavad.
And with all questions, Srimad. Beautiful points you brought. I could not understand Srikant Prabhu's question, but I have a question. You brought the point in the beginning regarding that impersonal liberation, correct?
Yeah.
So what is the position of the living entity? What is the status quo of the living entity, and how it differs from the destination which we aspire as practitioners for becoming pure devotees? This is first question, and second question is, you brought the point about anarthas, and what is the fastest and the surest way of uprooting anarthas completely, because we don't want to extend this to procrastinate to next lifetime. So, is it possible? My question is that the odds are very much against us. Since eternity, trillions of times we have been given the opportunity to purify ourselves to attain the transcendental status. Still, we have failed, correct? So the odds appears to be very, very against us. That what will be that special in this lifetime that we can really go all the way? Show some light on this.
Okay, I'll try, Maharaj, but ultimately you have to speak only. So, our first question, like you asked, in comparison to the impersonalized, what is our destination, like devotees, what is our target? So, our target is only one, because we want to serve the Lord, the devotee. So, Mahaprabhu has already said, Nandanam, Najanam, Na Sundarim, Kavitam, Vajagadis, Kamaya, Mamajan, Medijan, Mesari Bhavata, Tirvahit. So, bhakti means devotional service, and that is servant. So, our servanthood. So, we have forgotten our servanthood, and we are in the masterhood. So, we are thinking that I am the doer, I am the controller of everything. Like what I survey, so so we are loading on our material nature. So, Prabhuta Vistar kar rahe hain. So that is what Prabhupada says. So for everything. So our target is to become very good servant of Krishna. So not direct servant of Krishna, but servant of Krishna. That is a secure position, and whether we go to heaven or hell or to Vaikuntha or not Vaikuntha, that doesn't matter for a devotee, as long as engaged in the pure devotional service of Guru and Krishna. So that is the, I think, first question. Maharaj, you want to add this or in this question?
The impersonal liberation, which is what is the status there? Means is there eternal position or?
No. So Prabhupada mentioned here in the purport. So it is Aruhya Kushrena Param Padatataha patanti adha anadutta ismadanghaya. So the demons, they may perform severe austerity, they may go up to the Brahmajyoti and they may float like particle there, but because they don't have a positive attraction to serve the lotus feet of the Lord, so they will not have entrance to the kingdom of God. So it is just like the surrounding in the Brahmajyoti. They will not enter into the spiritual planet. So it is only Jyoti they will be floating. And because that is Dharma and that is no, so they may feel some kind of bliss because Brahmajyoti itself is a, because it's a Lord's effulgence, bodily effulgence. So they will feel some kind of bliss, but how long they will feel like that? It is, and then Aruya Kushrana Parampadam. So their Parampada is that only. Patanti Odho Anadutta Smatanghaya. Because they don't have any positive attitude to serve the lotus feet of the Lord, so they will again fall to this material world. So that is their position. And but devotees, they don't aspire even to go to the spiritual world if they are always Kita Janma Hau Avajathatvadas. So our Acharya say that we are much attached to this service rather than the positions where we go. Is that
yes, beautiful. But in impersonal liberation, what is their situation? How they don't have the gross body? Do they have subtle body, or what is their status? Means how they survive there in that impersonal liberation?
Yes, that you may clarify, but what I understand is they don't have a spiritual body. That is for sure. Because so they wanted to merge, na. So because they wanted to merge, so they will remain like particle like this. Whether they are having subtle body or not, I am not sure, but they don't have a spiritual body. That is for sure. Maharaj, you may.
You know why we want to help them to quit that aspiration to merge into the impersonal, because they will become deprived to attain the platform of pure devotional service for such a long time, not trillions of years. Because when the Purna Pralaya takes place, the whole existence goes into impersonal. It's merging into Mahavishnu or whatever. And merging means everything is dissolved. You know, even the subtle body, what we call the Man Tattva, mind, intelligence, buddhi, you know, they also become separated. And still, how they then stay? The current sharir means the avidya. What that is the sanskar avidya. Until the avidya is uprooted, and that is uprooted only with the pure devotional platform, and that's when one becomes eligible to enter the kingdom of the Lord, when the even current sharir is also dissolved. So in impersonal liberation, subtle body is also dissolved, but not the current sharir, which is the cause. That's why when we say jnanis, Krishna doesn't call them jnanis, because they are still stuck with the misidentification. That there's only one soul, one with the Supreme, because they don't want to serve. So this the avidya continues, you know, because avidya has two folds, the gross and subtle. So gross avidya, that I'm not this gross body, but they have that avidya of a mode of goodness, you know. Sometimes mode of goodness is called vidya and mode of passion and ignorance is called avidya. But vidya, avidya, both are part of the three modes. That's why paravidya, because they have not attained paravidya, not situated in paravidya, in the devotional samandha gyan with Krishna. They are still that contamination there. So the current sharir is not dissolved, and that's why, as you said rightly, they come down, because how long one can stay in the static status? Because the soul is by nature ecstatic. It has feeling, willing, and doing. Those are the tendencies. So even if one try to do away with all these things, become standstill, but soul ultimately wants to express itself, because they have misidentified their aspiration or their achievement merging into the impersonal. Krishna helps them. Okay, you want to become inactive, you are anyway useless for my service. So same destination Krishna gives to the demons. No? Demons are creating havoc in the lives of devotees. So Krishna just puts them down, puts them in non-activity or inaction. These impersonalists, they insist to become inactive. So both have the same destination, so-called Brahmaloka. But nobody eternally condemned. The opportunity will be given to them. And that's how the fall from the impersonal liberation is there, only to give them another opportunity to attain the pure devotional platform.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Could you answer the second question regarding the purification from anarthas, which have haunted us since eternity, an unlimited number of times, innumerable numbers we have tried to uproot and attain the transcendental platform. The odds are very much against. What chance, what hope you give to the listeners from Bhagavatam?
Yeah. So Bhagavatam itself gives that Nashtapraya Swabhadreswa Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So Bhagavat Seva is both the personal Bhagavat, person Bhagavat, and the book Bhagavat. So these are our hope, actually. These are our only hope and only rescue, we can say, to get rid of these anarthas, because these are from time immemorial, from our material existence, from the beginning of existence, these are accompanying. Because starting was envy, envying the Lord, then all other anarthas are existing. The only hope is that by serving the person Bhagavata and the book Bhagavata. Person Bhagavata serving means following his instructions very seriously. And Bhagavat Seva, reading and discussing Bhagavatam, understanding, trying to apply Bhagavatam in our life. So that is the only hope by which we will be eradicated from these anarthas. Otherwise, these anarthas, they actually remain quite long period. So very, very long. Even we have seen like many advanced devotees also, they are having sort of kind of this thing, but ultimately, like in the form of name, fame, there is also, there are anarthas, various anarthas. So only hope is that we should stick to our constitutional position that I'm the menial servant of the servant of a servant of servant of Guru and Krishna. So in that mood only, I think, and by this following the instructions very seriously and Bhagavat Seva, reading and applying Bhagavatam in our life, that is the only rescue. So, and Maharaj, if you want to add, is it?
The shloka which you quoted said Nashta Prayeshu, almost,
Yes.
not complete. So my question is specifically, this may have happened to us many times, many lifetimes, that we almost got there but couldn't go all the way. There's a big difference between almost and all the way, correct?
Yes, yes.
So how to get uprooted in this lifetime? That's a specific question.
Yeah, so So Sutta Goswami is using this all word, not a prior sloka, this almost. So
Price is good enough. It's almost good enough.
Not good enough. It is actually, see, even if it is 99%, 1% is there, so that is not good economy. It should be 100% pure, then only we are eligible for our constitutional position.
So how that will be accomplished?
Yes. So that will be done. So the Bhagavatam is one, and other is pleasing the spiritual master. So by Bhagavat Seva and pleasing the spiritual master. So pleasing the spiritual master is the key. And that will make it 100%. So only if somebody says, I'm doing Bhagavad Seva, reading Bhagavad, of course, reading Bhagavad in itself is quite enough, and totally all the anarthas will go. But if he is not considering as a menial servant of his Guru, then that 0.1% or maybe 0.001% anartha is still there. So one has to be completely surrendered soul at the lotus feet of Sri Guru.
That's a very tough standard.
Very tough standard.
But it's doable, correct?
Yes, because he is a person. Guru is a person, that's why it is possible.
It's not impossible, but that's why mere worship of the spiritual master, the pujyata ka bhav hai na, the worship could be a good formality, we worship, show respect. We show respect to Prabhupada, we do Prabhupada Guru Puja, and still we fall behind becoming a pure devotee. We can judge, analyze ourselves. So much duplicity, so much double standards, different things happen in life.
Yeah.
So how that would be, because pujyata is not enough. There has to be priyata. Priyata means endearing oneself, or it's like falling in love with the spiritual master. And you, when you endear, when you develop so much appreciation for him that you are ready to do anything to please him, and in order to please him, it will definitely uproot the anartha completely. Because when you want to please someone, a spiritual master will, through his powerful instructions and powerful advice, will cause the complete uprooting of the anarthas. So somehow personally means you have to one has to allow oneself to be conducted by the spiritual master unconditionally. That will take care. Otherwise, mere endeavor of sadhana bhakti and still showing respect to the spiritual master, it could be prayashu, but to completely one has to really develop that liking to his fully blessed nature. Receive that special mercy from the spiritual master. Thank you. That was the same point.
Thank you, Maharaj. So without love, we cannot follow the instructions properly. So that love is there. Love has to be there. That is very
yes.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Then you will do everything,
yes.
Even the worst anartha, because you don't want to displease or you don't want to not please the spiritual master, and that is that important a point. And that will accomplish what we couldn't accomplish since eternity. This opportunity is for all of us. We are very, very blessed. We have the best opportunity to become fully blessed.
Thank you, Maharaj, for enlightening.
Bhagavatam is life. Thank you for coming regularly. I think our Brihspati Swamiji is sacrificing his spot. So I have one request, Sanatan Goswamiji. Could you put someone, or at least, or even our Adi Guru Prabhu, Hari Guru Prabhu from Houston, because I am in the West Coast, so it's it would be difficult for me to come on Friday because it would be like 7 o'clock in the evening and won't be conducive for next week. I will be normal. But this week, Friday, you can give the spot to someone.
Yes, yes, Maharaj.
Just this Friday. Next
Yeah,
week,
yeah.
I'll be fine.
Okay, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Balram Prabhu has one question.
Yes. Yeah, Balram Prabhuji, please make it short.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Maharajji. I have a question. I mean, I could not attend your lecture when you were speaking because I was in the other class, Bangalore class. But I mean, very nice discussion. I have a question from this discussion about this first point Govinda Maharaj asked, the impersonal liberation. So, I mean, this is a question to clarify myself. It's not challenging any acharya or anyone. When we say Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavan iti sabdate. So that means these are only different representations of the same Lord Krishna. So when even the impersonalist, they get Sayuja Mukti, they are, I mean, merging into Lord only. So also their Karan Sarira is also gone because they are getting liberation, Mukti. And so although Prabhupada wrote in few places I read that they come back again to the material world, but why? I mean, I have never seen anywhere in any sloka it's written that they come back. But I mean, at the same time, we can ask why they will come back. I mean, because this is also form of Lord, the representation of Lord, Brahmajyoti. And this is not within the material world. So, I mean, from that point of view, I mean, I would say they will not come back, although that is not the highest representation of Lord, but that is still, I mean, representation of Lord, isn't it?
Yes, so Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti. So these are three manifestations of the same Supreme Personality of Godhead. And okay, Prabhupada writes many times in many places because he is not writing himself. He is actually, it is given in 10th kind of Srimad Bhagavatam that Brahmaji himself is saying this course, Aruya Kuchrena Param Padam Tata Patanti Adho Anadita Ismat Angraya. So this is the sloka. This is the sloka. Actually, Brahma
No, here, Prabhuji, here no Brahman is mentioned.
Let the answer.
This may be the highest,
Hare
but Brahman is not mentioned in
Hare
this
Krishna.
sloka.
Yeah, Prabhuji, let the answer be
Yes,
finished and then we can make our point.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So there actually Aruya Kuchane Param Padam. So this Param Padam, Prabhupada writes it is this Brahmajyoti. So Brahmajyoti one has, because you see how suppose you go to somebody's house and that person is not entertaining you, how long you will stay there? So like that, it is kind of because you have not developed a loving relationship with the personality of Godhead, but simply you want to derive bliss from him. So and he is not entertaining you, and how long? Even if they feed you, like you go to somebody's house and they feed you, but they will not entertain you. They will not. So you are like left out person. So how long you will stay? that kind of situation is there when this impersonal liberation is there, because they have no service attitude to the Lotus feet of the Lord. So that's why Arohiya Kuchirana Param Padam Tata Patanti Adho Anaduta Yusmadampraya. So that's sloka is translated by Prabhupada like that. And I think Govind Maharaj can throw some light on this.
Actually, Prabhu ji question में ही वो confusion कर दिया. That there is a difference between Brahma and Brahma Jyoti, correct? So his question is Brahma में enter किया यद गत्वान निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमम में. If he does not enter Brahma or Krishna or Paramatma, he enters the Jyoti. It is the extension of Krishna's bodily effulgence. You know? Krishna is Brahma, the source of Brahma Jyoti. So when Bhagavatam says Brahmeti Paramatma iti Bhagavanti Shabdate, the Brahma means the greater than the greatest. Who is that? So when ultimate inquiry is done, then yes, Krishna alone can be Brahma. Krishna alone can be Paramatma, and no one else. So that's why different stages of realization of the same person. But when we say Brahma, only Krishna has to be understood. You know. So when a person who is in Tattva Vidas Tattvam Yad Jnanam Advayam, one who knows the complete Tattva, then when the same Tattva is three nomenclature, Brahma, Paramatma, Bhagavan. So how can be separate? But depending on one aspect only. Brahma aspect means the unmanifest form. So, because they don't understand that Krishna alone is Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan. That's why their merging is into the Brahma Jyoti. They are still outside the absolute realm. You know? That's why the shloka which Prabhuji quoted, Aruhya Krishna Param Padam Tatah. Maniness, उन्होंने मान लिया ना कि that merging into the impersonal, becoming non-active and just separating from the matter. But it is that position. The example given by Prabhu is very wonderful. That you go to somebody's house and you are not welcome, or nobody deals with you. But you insist to be in that situation. But eventually, your determination or your it will expire. That's when they come down, because they could not find the conducive atmosphere to the Swarup of the soul. Swarup of the soul is Nitya Krishna Das. It wants to devote itself. It wants to become someone. You know, हम किसी का बन के ही आनंद पाते हैं ना. In the material world also, कोई पत्नी का बन के, कोई पति का बन के, कोई बेटे का, बाप का, पार्टी का, समाज का, we find our fulfillment by self-sacrificing to bring joy or satisfaction, service to others. That is natural. And eventually, until that same tendency is applied to Krishna, we don't attain our eternal status, or we don't become, we don't realize our eternal nature. So in Brahma Jyoti liberation, it is not conducive to the eternal Swarupa of the living entity. That's why it has to come down, because in this multi-sansara, one attains the sadhak body. One attains the body as a human being, does his sadhana, then attains satsang, mahatpurush, and he becomes enlightened in pure devotional service, and then earns the eligibility to attain the Parshadattva, the Atyantik Pralaya. You know, Srikant Prabhu already described. Atyantik Pralaya means when, by performing pure devotional service, he attains the eligibility or the mercy of Yogamaya to be transferred to the spiritual realm. He attains his eternal spiritual body. In whichever bhava Krishna accepts his devotional mood, that body is given to him. So because there is no spiritual body in personal liberation, so the soul is hankering for some fulfillment. You cannot feel fulfilled by remaining totally inactive. That is not the nature of the soul. So Brahma and Brahma Jyoti, they are two different things. When we say Brahma, it is means Krishna, the supreme person. Param Brahma, Param Dhama. Paramatma is also Bhagavan. Ultimately, it is Krishna only who can be described as Paramatma or Brahma. Because if you describe Brahma something other than Krishna or Paramatma something other than Krishna, then you are bringing some other person. Then it is no more Advaya Gyan Tattva. So in true knowledge, whether you call Brahma or Paramatma, you mean only Krishna, the Ekme, the Samam Bonam, the original person.
Thank you, Maharaj, for enlightening us. And Bhagavatam Prabhu, you got some answer.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Maharaji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice. But I still have many other questions related to that, but it's time already too much. We'll discuss some other time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So,
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, Prabhuji, I have two questions. Actually, I thought of asking before Balramji only, but as we need to give chance for the participants, I have asked our Balramji. Yeah, fine. So if you are okay,
Give yourself a chance.
Yes, Maharaj. Yeah. So first question is, entire creation is Lord Krishna's only, which means like our material world is also Krishna's world. So if we are in material world, then can it be said as we are with Krishna and we need not be liberated?
no. The purpose of creation has twofold. We have also discussed earlier. To give the conditions of the chance to rectify themselves and go back to Godhead. And the first, this is second one. First one is that the soul, when it desires to enjoy, is independent of the Lord. So that is the opportunity. The opportunity given to the living entity to enjoy separately from the Lord. So that is one thing. And second thing, the opportunity given to the living entity to rectify himself and go back to Godhead. So the twofold. So this purpose is a kind of jail khana, is kind of a prison in the house, where those who misutilize their free will, they are put in the jail, and also they are given the chance to rectify themselves so that they can come out of jail. So if somebody says that jail is fine for me, so what can you say? So it is not like that. Jail is, we should come out of the jail actually to exercise the full freedom. We have to properly utilize our freedom to exercise the full freedom. If we misutilize our minor freedom, then we will not get the complete freedom. So staying in the material world itself, of course, when we become pure devotee, for pure devotee, doesn't matter whether it's spiritual world or material world. He only wants to be engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So, like Bhaktivedanta says, so wherever, oh my Lord, you put me, so please make me your servant. So if we go to that state, that's all right.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah. One more question is, so many a times, like as you said, we have to be a leader. Then at the same time, our philosophy says like we should be a servant. So how to be a leader, being a servant?
Yes. So Position is leader, mood is servant. Is that answer true, or should I elaborate?
Little bit
Position may be
elaborate.
leader. By default, all of us are in some position of leader, but mood should be servant.
West 100 North, then
Hare Krishna, Maharaji, are you trying to say something? We are not able to get it.
Well, regarding your second question,
Yes, Maharaji.
yeah, because like a father is a leader, correct? So Nanda Maharaj was father, mother, but they were serving Krishna in that capacity. But your question is that as leader, how we serve. So we lead in the mood of service. We become the facilitator, So that is the role of a leader, to facilitate all the sadhakas, all the apparent or apparently subordinates, but we are servant of all. We servant of devotees. So we may take the position, or because according to our talent or our education, leader is a servant. Just leader. Who is the spiritual master? What is the fundamental qualification of a spiritual master? One who has been very pakka, first class disciple. Disciple means servant, correct? So one, and he gets the responsibility as a leader, but serve because he can engage in the service. So that is his service, to engaging and facilitating others to grow in their devotional fervor. So our Swarup as a servant does not change, even if we are a leader, apparently, master or this thing. And a spiritual master also in Swarupa, he's a servitor, no? Servitor God. He's a servant. But for the disciple, he's because Krishna we don't deal with, but spiritual master we deal with, and we can really develop true affinity and true, true love. What we imagine that how much we love Krishna, or how much we worship Krishna, one can practically do this in relation to the spiritual master. That's why the dedication, the self-surrender is to the spiritual master. That is the way surrender to Krishna is accomplished. Because one says, I will wait until Krishna shows up and I will surrender to him. Krishna has come as a spiritual master. Not only he can be honored as much as we would honor Krishna, but also make him endear to us. How much when you develop liking for someone, you are ready to do everything. You are ready to modify yourself from all the anarthas uprooted. So this liking, this priyata, is the ultimate thing. But as a leader, you are still a servant also.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Krishna. So, yeah. So leader is a leader, not a leader when he thinks that he is a leader.
That's the material platform.
Yes.
Yes. On the spiritual pastime, he's the biggest leader, he's the biggest servant.
Servant, yes.
Because he has to facilitate others. Doesn't have to think about his personal interest also. Because he is given the role because he's evolved enough not to be self-centered. That's why he is given the role by the consensus of others. Yes, we would accept him as our facilitator. So he's a facilitator, and sometimes to facilitate multiple people, devotees, sadhakas, God brother, God sister, it takes a lot of stress, a lot of decision making. But with no ulterior or personal motive, one can do justice as a servant, because a servant doesn't have to worry. A servant has to just be concerned about the bigger picture, to take care of the bigger purpose of engagement, rather than because I'm the leader, so everybody just to be ruled by me. No, he is not the ruler; he's the facilitator. And sometimes he has to take side with one person against another person, only to do the best thing he can do. So it's all in the consciousness, and that what is his motive. So as a leader, spiritual leader, his motive is only to please Krishna and Sri Guru, and also engage others, facilitate according to their capacity. And so it's a critical job. That's why to become leader is a second-class devotional service. Srila Prabhupada said. First class is to just become sannyasi and just preach.
Thank you, Maharaj. So, something nicely put to that. Supreme leader becomes this Parthasarathi. Very nice. So Prabhupada also used to say that one who thinks that he is a guru is not a guru but a guru. So, and Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that Dasosmi. So whenever somebody of our obeisances, he used to say Dasosmi, I am your servant. So that is the mood actually. We have to cultivate that. Thank you all for your nice questions and comments. Maharaj, thank you so much, especially. And the devotees. So can you end this session now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Yeah.
Bhagavan Shiva Sripad ki jai. Biyai moment. Thai go Pramanand.
Grace. Haripar Prabhu ki jai. Thank you.
Jai Maharaj ki jai. Anand Kodi Vaishnava. Next.